course of the years, my colleagues and friends have asked me about my chickens. They all know I grow chickens. I would bring eggs into the office every once in a while. And eventually I started talking about a chicken tractor. And everybody said, what is a chicken tractor? They figured it was a mechanical kind of device or something like that. Most had no idea. And so I started explaining it over time, and I figured, this would make a great subject for a video. So why don't I talk about what is a chicken tractor? I have two examples of chicken tractors, the two primary kinds of chicken tractors that are used throughout the homesteading industry. One is the Salatin style, which is a simple box made of typically hardware cloth or tin or whatever other materials you can gather. So it looks kind of like this, and they can be different sizes. They can be small A-frames. They can be a lot of different styles. But essentially, they're a box that you drag across the lawn, and the chickens have access to the grass from the natural floor underneath. The second popular style of chicken tractor is the John Siskovich style tractor, and that's what I just built over here. This offers the same benefits of the Salatin style. It has wheels in the back that are currently off, as you can see, and it offers about 60 square feet of space for chickens. And John Siskovich popularized this version of the chicken tractor to raise meat birds, such as the Cornish cross chickens that you see in there right now. So now there are two main reasons that you want to have a chicken tractor. And the first reason is that you can spread chicken manure across your lawn essentially for free. And this happens every day that they're out there. So they just don't stop. They put a lot of manure down, and it really helps the nitrogen levels on your lawn and greens up your grass for you. And it can add more nutrients to the soil, which is always good for grass. The second reason is that you want fresh, delicious eggs. And eggs from chickens that are out on grass, eating bugs and getting that protein are just a lot better than the eggs you'll find in the store. If you do a comparison to store-bought eggs, typically what you'll see is an egg with a yolk that's kind of pale yellow, and it kind of is runny as it spreads out in the pan. When you get an egg that's from a chicken tractor, you're going to see that they've been eating those bugs, having that protein, and that yolk is almost orange. It's just so much more appetizing, and people can taste the difference. My wife, just the other day, I gave her some eggs. I had some store-bought eggs that we had received, and I usually don't use them, but I wanted to use them up because I'm a frugal guy. I want to make sure they get used. So I made her some eggs in the morning, and she looked at me and said, "Are these store-bought eggs?" And she knew right away from the flavor. So there definitely is a big difference in flavor. So that you can be sure of. And so I really enjoy having the chickens out here on the lawn eating the bugs. They make great eggs. And so that's the second reason you would want a chicken tractor. The Salatin style chicken tractor is typically frugally built, I should say. So you can use tin. I happen to have some white corrugated vinyl here that I used on the sides, and I use that on the back of it primarily to keep the wind and the weather away from the chickens during inclement weather. So if we take a look all around the thing, you can see that it's covered on three sides in the top at one end, and it's open using hardwire cloth. You can see that it's on two running boards, and I have the front of them cut so that I can pull them over, so that I can pull the tractor over the lawn. And what I do is I have eye bolts there with small clips that I can take on and off and put on either the front or the back. I've also upgraded and used a piece of garden hose so I don't tear up my hands. If we look inside this, This top comes off on hinges, and you can see I have a waterer here. That's a very simple metal waterer, and chickens are under the shelter right now looking pretty happy. So they're on some fresh grass, and what they're going to do is drop their manure over the course of the day on the grass, and then tomorrow I'll move them another 8 feet and they'll drop their manure on that area of grass. Inside here is kind of the business end of the chicken tractor. I have it up on hinges here, and I can also have a piece of wood that I use to prop it up. And if I step back, you can see in the picture here, I have the top propped up with this stick, and inside there are roosts that the chickens can go up on at night, a feeder, as well as some nesting boxes. Now, I don't have any hay in these nesting boxes at this point because these are pullets. They're young chickens. They don't start laying eggs until they're about 5 months old, and these chickens are about 2.5 months old. So they've got a couple months to go here in the chicken tractor. So their primary use for me is for dropping manure across my lawn, and this section of the lawn has a lot of weeds that I want them to pick at, a lot of bugs that they can eat for protein, as well as their everyday feed that I have in there 24/7. So they always have access to feed and fresh water. Currently, because they're not laying eggs, I have little bits of plywood hanging over the front entrance of those nesting boxes in the milk crates. But when they start laying eggs, I'll take those off and they'll lay eggs in there if this is where I want to keep them. If you drag the chicken tractor across the lawn, the chickens will pick up bugs and insects and all those things that chickens like to eat as they traverse across your lawn. Now you can see here that the most recent space is kind of brown, kind of worn out, kind of tough to look at, and that's where the chickens were recently. And they're dropping their manure as they go. And as you look further up the lawn where they were a week ago, you see the grass is bounced back a little bit. They do some damage to the soil. They will put a few holes in the ground where they want to have their dust bath, but that's part of what you accept for a really green lawn and really delicious eggs. If you're wondering if dragging a chicken tractor across the lawn will make your lawn greener, take a look at this evidence right here. So that is where I had a chicken tractor for one night. I had a bunch of chickens in it, and I just sat them there temporarily. And look how green that section of lawn is compared to the rest of the lawn. So the nitrogen that the chickens drop during the course of their stay in one spot really makes a difference to the grass. Let me talk about some of the features of this particular model of chicken tractor. In the rear, it has wheels, and these wheels currently are just hanging on there. I'm going to move this chicken tractor, so it raises the back of it up several inches, or a couple inches I should say, and so that I can move the chicken tractor. But I want to put those down so predators can't dig under there. During the day it's really not a problem, but at night there are definitely critters that try to dig into these things and get at the chickens for a free meal. The bottom of it is made with hardware cloth, and towards the top I have chicken wire. And over the top of the whole thing I have a tarp that's fairly heavy duty. Ideally I tried to get white so that it would reflect the sun, but the best I could do recently was silver, so I'll try to get a white one in the future. The most unique and telling sign that this is a Siskovich style chicken tractor is the front door. Even though it's an A-frame top made with EMT conduit, basically electrical pipe, it has a square door at the front. And for me, this works out fairly well because I'm kind of tall and I don't want to bump my head as I go in. So a lot of these designs, you have to stoop to get in, but I don't like to bend. I like to stand up when I do my work. So here you can see these chickens are mostly laying around now that they've had their morning feed, and they are just taking drinks as they can and enjoying themselves in the really much cooler weather than it's been over the last several days. So you can see, having a chicken tractor involves a little bit of work. You're going to need to move it every day, so you got to find a way to pull it. I already showed that in the Siskovich style chicken tractor, the larger one that I have wheels on the back. This style of chicken tractor doesn't have wheels. You just drag it along the ground. But a little workout never killed anybody. So let me just show you how easy it is to move. Come on, girls, we're moving. It's basically on two runners and just moves across the ground like a sled. And the chickens get used to moving with it. There. That's as far as I'm going to go today. I've already moved them once, so just 3 or 4 feet will be fine. The chickens get used to moving with it. They get bumped every once in a while, but you have to keep an eye on them and make sure you don't crush any legs. Or I've never had a chicken killed with this. I keep an eye on them, so it's pretty easy to do. And moving the other one, it's larger, but it's easier because it's on wheels. Let me show you that. Now, Cornish cross chickens, not the brightest bird out there. Sometimes it takes them a little while to understand that they're moving. The inertia in a heavy chicken, especially a Cornish cross, makes them want to sit down most of the time. So they sit, poop, and drink. And eat. That's pretty much their lives at this point. So once you get them moving, you can keep them moving as you move the chicken tractor. All right, girls. See, as soon as I lift it, they know something's up because they're used to it by now. Very easy to move. You just lift up your shoulders a little bit and the chicken tractor moves. So even though it weighs more than the other chicken tractor, it's easier to move. So now I have to take the wheels off. They're designed to come on and off so that the chicken tractor settles down and no animals can get underneath it to dig at the chickens. So that's how that one works. Well, I hope you learned something today. Those are the two main style of chicken tractors. The John Siskovich style chicken tractor here, or the Joel Salatin style chicken tractor over there. Both kinds have their uses, and both are fun projects to build. So, this is Scott for the XFed Homestead. We'll see you next time.